Cornflexes is in the building.
Yep, you know the lifestyle. And today we just want to just, honor Nipsey Hussle. The anniversary of his passing is coming up, and it's just kind of like a reflection of his life and his brand, and the fact that the marathon truly continues. You see what's all going on. Like, if you tapped in with Black Sam and just like the marathon team, they just opened up the Marathon Burger. They just ran the LA Marathon, and it's just dope to see like his legacy just continue to go. And it's just so motivational, because it's like, when you think about, your time on this earth and what you want to leave, hopefully people still remember you, like outside of your family. But if you really impacted people, if you really impacted communities and the culture, hopefully your name just kind of lives on. And with Nipsey Hussle, I feel like that's what's happening right now.
And that's right on brand with the marathon. You know what I mean? Like, if you know what a marathon is, it's not a sprint, it's a long distance run, endurance and stamina. And they're keeping the name alive just like that. Just like, a relay race where they pass the baton, you know what I mean? The team is keeping the entire movement together. And, Nipsey was just the face of it. You know what I mean? You see Black Sam, you see everybody else who's playing their position and getting the Marathon Burger open, and, making sure the logo is going on it still, and making sure, the menu is looking like this. You know what I mean? It's really eye-opening to see like how someone's legacy could just be like bigger than them, you know what I mean? Like bigger than what they have going on, because, Nipsey is probably gonna, I'm not going to say he's going to weed out in history, because now he's like the Tupac of the generation. You know what I mean? But there's going to be a time where people probably never heard a Nipsey song, but be going to Marathon Burger. Not even knowing, you know what I mean? Like, not even knowing this is like a whole big thing. So this is just like the seed being planted and something like great to come.
Yeah, and I just feel like, it's kind of cemented in stone. Like, honestly, when it comes to like impacting the communities and things of that nature, like I see the same kind of influence and impact that it have, just like like a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King. It's just in different times, different space, different generation. Back then hip hop wasn't even like active back then, and prevalent. It's just the fact that hip hop was the outlet for Nipsey, along with different other things. But in that space, he was able to impact like a lot of people. They got like the Neighborhood Nip Foundation that's really doing it, influential stuff for the kids. And it's just so dope just to kind of be here to witness it, like even after the fact. Like, you reflect on his passing in such an unfortunate situation, but his name, his legacy, his family is just keeping everything alive, man.
And I think it just goes back to like what you were saying. Like, I think the position is just changed in terms of like who is the voice for the people in the culture. You know what I mean? Like, it was the civil rights activists at a point in time. And I'm pretty sure people in that generation was like, I want to grow up and be a civil rights leader and stuff like that.
Inspired by Malcolm
X, Black Panther and stuff like that. Then we have like the hip hop, the rappers, and now we got like podcasters and streamers and stuff like that. So it was a whole bunch of people that's being the voice of us and making things like super, super impactful. And Nipsey was one of them. You know what I mean? Where you go and check the history, or even off his music, you go and check his interviews, see what he was talking about. Like, he was preaching independentness, but he was really like preaching like financial freedom for the generation, like for what everybody should be striving for.
Honestly, just for the betterment of our people. And no matter what space you're in, like, you can be a streamer, you could be a rapper, you could be an actor, you could be a lawyer, doctor. If you're preaching the betterment for our people, like outside of what you naturally doing, like if you're influencing and inspiring people, that is dope. And Nipsey said it once: the highest form or the highest act is to inspire. And that's what he did. That's what he's doing. That's what his legacy continued to do, man. So
definitely rest in peace, Nip, man, for sure.
The marathon continues.